Question 11, find the numerical value of x equals that in that expression, given that a equals that and b equals that. So we just have to substitute the values of a equals minus 1 and b equals 2. The mistake that students will make here is that in substituting, they will forget that when you square a negative number, it gives you a positive number, not in the world of complex numbers, in a simple world here in ordinary level. So this gives us the square root of all of that simplified, giving us root 5 on 3. And the key here is D. Question 12, if a star b equals a squared minus ab plus 1, find minus 2 star 3. You just have to put in the values and substitute just like in the previous question, and that equally gives you 11. Question 13, find the gradient of the line shown. From your work of Form 2 or let's say grade 7, you must have come across many lines and coordinate geometry looking for the gradient of a line. In this particular case, you just have to look at the points which are of great importance. Here we have 3 and 5. So the gradient is change in y over change in x, and the change in y here is 3, while the change in x is minus 5. Note that the line slopes from right leftwards downwards, so the gradient is going to be negative. You may solve very well and you think the gradient is plus 3 on 5 is not correct because the line has a negative gradient. Question 14, solve for x in log 4 base 2 equals 1 over 2 to the power x. What you have to do here is first of all to simplify the log. We know that log 4 base 2 is the same as log 2 to the power 2 base 2, and simplifying that gives us log 2. And on the right hand side, 1 over 2 to the power x is the same like 2 to the power minus x. And when we solve for x, since the bases are now the same, equating the powers, we have x to be equal to minus 1. Question 15, given the logic statement P implies Q, and then the converse just means that you should swap the positions. And when you swap the positions, it's now read as Q implies P, and the result or the key here is D. Note, however, the inverse means take the negation of the left-hand side and take the negation of the right-hand side. If they ask for the inverse, the answer here will be C, but the converse is D. Question 16, given the matrix M equals that and N equals that, where the adjacent or the adjugate of M is equal to the transpose of N, find X and Y respectively. Here we have to follow the rules of matrices, and for M, the adjugate of M, when we interchange the positions of the leading diagonal and change the signs in front of the off diagonal, we have the adjugate of M, and for the transpose of N, we have to interchange rows for columns. And when we interchange, you have these values can now equate corresponding entries, and when you equate, we will have an x to be equal to a half, and solving for y is going to give us 2. Question 17, the lines L1 equals that and L2 equals that are, the first thing you have to look at here is you look at the gradient of the two lines. The first line 1, the gradient is 3, but the second line, the gradient is 1/3. When you look at for the product of these two gradients, it gives us minus 1. And that is the condition for two lines to be perpendicular. Another name for a line being perpendicular is, or for two lines being perpendicular, is that the lines are normal. So the only answer here is the lines are normal. Question 17. Find the equation of the line that is parallel to the line 2y equals 4x plus 5 and passes through the point 1, 0. An equation of the line that is parallel to another line means the two lines have the same gradient. But if you look at this line that we have here, it is not in standard form. It has to be in the form y equals mx plus c. So dividing all through by 2 gives us y to be equal to 2x plus 5 on 2. So the gradient here is 2. The gradient is not 4. And now, for the line to pass through the point 1, 0, we just have y equals m into x minus x1 plus y1. And that gives us y equals 2 into x minus 1. And looking at it carefully, you find out that the answer or the solution is not here, except we have to change the positions of the 4 or replace it with 2. Now the next thing, the next question in the network G equals that, V is a set of. Now for a network, the first set that is given is always a set of nodes or the set of vertices. They must not call it vertices, they can equally call it nodes. So it's some sort of a trick to see how much you have a mastery of your subject. Question 20. The set A equals that and the set B equals that. The cardinality of the Cartesian product A cross B is, For the Cartesian product, the first element must come from set A and the next element from set B. And when we do this Cartesian product, we will find out that we have a total of 6 elements. For example, we have 0, 4, 0, 5, 1, 4, 1, 5, 2, 4, 2, 5. This gives us 6 elements. To have a copy of this paper, don't forget to log into our blog www.gcemathspanel.blogspot.com, and you get a copy of this paper, Black Gene, and many other GCE materials to help you.